Do you build reports to impress the finance team or your CFO in interviews? So in today's video, we're going to learn how to build a professional finance profit and loss dashboard using Power BI. So make sure to watch till the end. Here I have a dataset where you can see that I have a month column. I have a department column showing which department it is, a type column indicating whether it's a revenue type or an expense type, and a subtype column meaning which subtypes fall under revenue and which ones under expenses. After that, I have an amount column. So using this particular dataset, we will build a profit and loss dashboard. So let's get started. What do we need to do first? We need to bring this particular data into Power BI. For that, what we'll do is first open Power BI, and then in the Home tab, we need to select our data source, whether it's Excel, SQL, or something else. So here, what we'll do is select our data, open it, click on the sheet, and then load it. After loading, our data will appear in Power BI. Now, the point is, if we need to make any changes to it, we need to check that. So what should I do for that? Do I have any empty information in any column? Are there any errors? Are there any null values? These are things I need to know. So for that, whenever you load your data, you should always bring it into Power Query Editor first. It will make things easier for you. So you can see that all the columns are 100% valid, right? Now, if you look at this column here, you'll notice that in the date column, there's the month, the date, and the year. But the column name is just month by default. So what I'll do is, I'll change this. I'll make this the date column because it actually contains dates. And if you look at the amount column, you'll see that all the amounts here are clearly shown as whole number data types. If you want to change this to decimal, you can do that. That's your choice. So now I'll close this because we don't have any null or empty information here. Now, what we need to do is go and create some measures. Why are we creating them? So that we can show accurate information to our client on the dashboard. So what will I do for that? I'll click on New Measure, and after clicking on New Measure, I'll take the total of my revenue here. Meaning, what is the total revenue? So, total revenue equals calculate, and here I'll use the sum function for amount. First, we'll do sum of amount, comma, then which type is it? So, by selecting it here, we'll take revenue. So, this is the total revenue. Now, in the same way, we'll calculate what the total expense is. For that, I'll go back and use a new measure again. So here, we'll take total expense equals, use the same calculate function, sum of the amount. We'll consider that amount here. And after that, what will we do? Comma, the type that is finance, that's our expense, so we need to select that here. If there's a spelling mistake in expense, then our value won't show up. It'll come up blank, so be careful to use the correct spelling here. So now, what we'll do here is use profit margin. So I'll go to new measure and take profit margin. How much is it? Profit margin equals, I'm using the divide function here, and the net profit that we calculated. What did we calculate? We haven't calculated it yet, so first, we'll use net profit, meaning we'll first identify the net profit. Net profit equals, what will we do? First, we'll take the total expenses we've identified here, and the total revenue. And then what will we do next? Now, we'll identify the profit margin. So, I'll go to the new measure, and after going to the new measure, we'll take profit margin here, which equals the divide tax function. And then what will we take? The net profit we've calculated, divided by total revenue. Now, we've shown this profit margin. We'll display this as a percentage. So, we've identified some DAX functions. Now, we'll go to this and visualize the raw data that we have. For that, first, we'll need to create a dashboard. So before creating the dashboard, I'll choose a nice wallpaper for the background. And here I'll add a text box and name it something like Finance Profit and Loss Dashboard. I'll make this bold. Align it in the center at size 28. So it looks something like this. Alright, so for now, we'll keep the color white because of the background. We're going to turn it off. So this is your finance profit and loss dashboard. We'll keep a heading like this here. Okay, so now what are we going to do? Here, we're going to use a KPI card. So first I'll use a card chart, and here I'll show what my total revenue is, 10 million. Alright, if we want to show the revenue in currency, we can also add the currency here. So for total revenue, now when it comes to formatting, I'll turn off the category label and turn on the title. And here I'll set it to total revenue, bold, and center align. As for the values, I'll make them bold and set the size to 30 so that our spacing looks good. Talking about the background, obviously, I'll keep it black because our background is black, right? I'll add a border to it, and this border will be white, 3-point stick, and the rounded corners will be 15. Now we'll go to the values and set them to white, and the title's value will also be set to white. So in this way, we've identified our total revenue here. So now, what will we do next? I'm going to copy and paste some more of this here so that we can save some time. So we've shown the total revenue. Now we'll show the total expenses here. This is the total expenses, so we'll change its title. Total expenses. And since expenses are also money, it's currency, so we'll convert this to dollars as well. After that, we need to show how much net profit there is. So what will we do for that? Here, we'll take the net profit. Net profit is 2 million, so we'll take this as net profit. If you want to convert this to currency as well, you can do that. And next, we're going to show what the profit margin is. So what will we do for that? We've taken the profit margin in percentage, and its title will be profit margin. Right, so we've already used this interesting KPI card chart here. So what are we going to do now? We'll use a bar chart, and in this bar chart, we'll show the departments and their respective net profit. We want to display how much net profit we made in each department here. Alright, so what will I do here? We'll format this in the same way. Alright, now we'll need to go and change the values in this. Just like we did with whiteboard 10, we'll make this one white as well. Here, I'm only using color, size, and font style. On the x-axis, the values will be whiteboard 10 and the title. The title will be white, and just like we did with the board. After that, we'll go to the data labels, which we'll turn on. We'll also align this to the center so it's easier to understand. If you want to change the values in this, you can also display their units in thousands. This way is fine. When you display it like this, the x-axis values also shouldn't be in millions. Convert the values on the x-axis to thousands as well, so it'll be easier to understand. We don't need the grid lines showing in the background because they're a bit distracting, so we'll remove them. The departments have now appeared in the net profit. Now we'll show what we can do using a pie chart. Here, I'll format it the same way, and in this pie chart, I'll show how much expense there was for each subtype. That is, the total expense for each subtype. You can see here that I've used the format painter to format this. Now, we're going to show the detail labels, the data labels here, okay? We'll display them here. Alright, so these are the data labels that we're going to show here. We'll set them like this, 20, but that's too big. So let's set it to 10 like this. So now, our data labels are also easily visible here. Now, let's move on to the legend. As you can see, the legend is invisible here, so we'll convert its text to white as well. Now it's bold. And if you want to increase its size, you can do that too. There's no problem with that. Alright, but you should be cautious that whenever you display any visual in Power BI, its data should be clearly visible and readable. So now, what are we going to do here? We'll use a line chart here, which will help us show trends. So what we'll do here is, first I'll take the date information, and then I want to show how much total revenue there was and what the total expense was. Total revenue, total expense, and I want to display this from a monthly perspective. Something like this. So this is interesting. Now, what we're going to do is format it like this. The formatting is done. It's interesting. We don't need a title in the legend, so instead of turning off the legend, it's better to just turn off the title option that it's asking for. Alright, everything is in millions, but you can adjust the x-axis and y-axis as you see fit. So, it's black right now, we'll change it to white. You can also make it bold and adjust the size and set it to white. This is your board, and this color should also be white. The secondary y-axis should also be white. Yes, it's necessary because we've added it. So, if you want to convert these values to thousands, you'll have to convert all of them to thousands. Just converting one won't be enough. Alright, as you can see, everything has now been converted to thousands. If you change the color of these lines, it'll look even better. Alright, right now I've selected total revenue. If you change its color and pick something like this, then the color will change. And if we talk about total expenses, and you choose a color like this for expenses, it'll look more interesting. Okay, so now what are we going to do? To make this interactive, we'll use some selectors. Without selectors, there can't really be any report. So what will I do? Here, I'll format this, and in selectors, I'll first choose department. Alright, so I'll turn this off and add a title. There you go. That's your department. Okay, so the text color is white. That's right, and the values are in black. We'll make this white. We'll make this bold. Now, in the vertical list, it's going to take up a lot of space here. So what will I do for that? I'll convert it into a dropdown so that it becomes easier to select like this. So when I select from the dropdown. Yeah, so when you're talking about the selection here, you'll need to keep the background black. When it appears like this, just like we showed the department, you can display the other selectors in the same way. So here, I'm just copying some of the selectors and placing them here so that it's easier for you to understand, and it also saves some time. So what will I do now? I've already shown the department, so what will I do here? I'll bring in the date and select the month option from the date hierarchy, and you can select just the month. So when I go to its title, this becomes your month slicer, and after that type. Which type is it? So I'll select that type here. So you can also change its title to reflect which type it is, and after that, we have another selector. I will take all the types here. Now see, if I select any type, you can observe the changes. If I select the department, then for each department, like marketing, all the visuals, impressions, and so on are there, so this is successful. So in this way, we've created the dashboard. But to make it even more interactive, we'll need to use some buttons. So the button we can then create. First, when we create a bookmark, what will we do for that? First, I'll create a bookmark and edit. Rename. After resetting it like this, I've created a bookmark here. And I'll go to insert and add a button. So the button has appeared here. In this way, you can also place the button here, and inside the button, we'll add the button style. That's the text for the style. Font color, white. This is your reset button, meaning if you apply any slicer, it should come back to this, to home. So this is how we can show it. You can also change its shape. It's your choice, alright? If you want to fill the border line, you can do that too. If I change the border color to white, see, it looks like this. Right now, nothing happens when you click it, so let me show you. if I select customer success and then want to reset it. When I click on this, nothing changes. Because I haven't assigned any action to it yet. So what do we need to do? Click on the button, scroll down, turn on the action, and set the type to bookmark. Which bookmark? Reset. Now see, whenever I select any department or any subtype, okay, or any subtype, it's your choice. Alright, so when I click on reset again, I'm brought back to the home page. So the way we've made this interactive, the benefit is that the end user can view it however they want and easily select the data they need from here. So if I talk about its real-world reporting use case, the finance profit and loss dashboard we've created can be used as an executive summary dashboard. We can also use it like a financial presentation, whether it's for a startup company or for an embedded dashboard. If you want to create one, we use this for that purpose as well. So generally, if you use any SaaS products, it's very important to create an embedded dashboard. For the finance team as well, we use this. So with this particular dashboard, we can understand how much profit we've made, how much expense there has been, how much revenue has been generated, and in which month, at what time, how much revenue and expense we had. You can find out all these things here, even if your data has some additional columns. When you work in real time, you can also update your data and your dashboard accordingly. So you can also download this particular dashboard and its dataset from the description of this video. In today's video, we learn how to build a professional finance, profit and loss dashboard using Power BI. Thank you for choosing Know How Academy as your source for knowledge today. If you have any questions from this video, you can ask them in the comment section of this video so that we can answer them.